Can we go back to the days you turned me on? Chrissy, I promise you my lemons have grown. Can somebody tell me how to get Chris back inside me where he should be? Oh God, give me the reason. Chrissy, please marry me. Oh, the lovers' quarrel continues between Chrissy C and Donnie. This is really, really sad when you think about it. Most normal people, we don't like to see anyone go through a breakup. The process can be painful. They say going through a divorce or a breakup after a long-term relationship, they say it's like going through a death in the family. You're not only losing your partner, your lover, you're losing friends, you're losing their family. In the case of Donnie and Chrissy, you're also losing jobs. It can be very, very tough. For years, while they were working together at CNN, Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, they were inseparable. They were often spotted together backstage, holding hands while having their makeup applied. They would take romantic walks together through Central Park. On nice spring days, they would have picnic lunches. They both played their roles to perfection. Donnie would bring the fresh buns. Chris would supply the grill for the miniature wiener. They even had a cute name for it, Pigs in a Blanket. The connection between Don and Chris, it was so strong. CNN would encourage them to flaunt their love when their shows were transitioning. Sometimes they would be having so much fun together, they would occupy 5, maybe 10 minutes of Donnie's show just bantering back and forth. Oh, Don, that suit looks great on you. You want me to tell the world our little secret? Oh, Chris, I don't think they're ready. I think they are, baby. I'm here to tell you, America, you might think Don Lemon is wearing a full suit, but he's not. My boo does not like wearing pants. I'm headed to that studio right now to assume my position under that desk. Perhaps one of the most emotional memories of this romance between Don and Chris was when Chrissy was traumatized by the Fauci. Donnie invited him on the show, remotely, of course. Chris, he shared his traumatizing fairy tale of his battle with the Fauci. When the Lemon started shedding tears, most people thought he was emotionally touched by his colleague being traumatized by the TV doctor. That was not the case. My inside sources tell me Don was upset because Chris was forced to quarantine for 2 weeks. The only way Donnie could see his partner in the bongo band was through a screen. When he saw that face and the shirtless body of his boo, he just couldn't hold back the tears. It's been about 3 weeks since CNN cut off the woke welfare of Don Lemon. Now, Donnie, he claimed to be surprised by this, possibly emotionally traumatized. I cannot believe you're firing me! Do you know how many woke boxes I check? I am the poster child for diversity, equity, and inclusion! I am the woke trifecta! I don't know why Don Lemon acted so surprised. He should have been fired last year. He successfully tanked ratings in every time slot that CNN gave him. He was getting into catfights with his co-workers. He embarrassed Katie Rue Collins by yelling at her in front of their colleagues, which, by the way, if Katie Rue thought that embarrassment was bad, it does not come close to how badly she was embarrassed by Donald Trump last night. We might get into that tomorrow. Trump absolutely eviscerated Caitlin Collins last night on live television. It was beautiful to watch. This is why I said yesterday Katie Rue would not have been my first choice to host something like this. CNN basically sent a rookie to do a vet's job. But anyway, with CNN cutting off Donnie's supply to fresh woke wiener, you would think his former colleague Chris Cuomo, hey, it's me, Chrissy C. You would think Chris would lend a helping hand. You would think he would try to lift Donnie up while he was down. I mean, if you believe the delusions of Chris Cuomo, he's basically running things at NewsNation. I am the star amongst stars. I am the icon of icons. People ask me for autographs while I drive my Dodge Stratus. No, Chris, even at a dump like NewsNation, you're still a minnow in a fish tank. Even though Don Lemon is set up financially, I would imagine that he is yearning to get back on television. It's not about the money to these guys. Sure, they want to be paid what they think they're worth, but the money's more of a status thing. What people like Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo, what they're really addicted to is the attention, the fame, the notoriety. It's their drug of choice. A couple of weeks ago, TMZ reported that NewsNation was interested in hiring both Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson. Although they can't match what Fox and CNN were paying, NewsNation, they were willing to pay several $1,000,000 to each one of them. Now, I understand why they wanted Tucker. He has a following. You might have a chance of getting a return on that investment. If you're really lucky, you might even turn a profit. I have no idea why they're interested in Don Lemon. Your ratings are already nothing. Don has already proven he can make ratings go from nothing to extinction. Outside of Bomani Jones, no one has the ability to destroy an audience like Don Lemon. Offering Don Lemon millions of dollars, it's like watching The View. Afterwards, all you're left with is disappointment and the smell of rotten flatulence. Nevertheless, TMZ was adamant. NewsNation was interested in the Lemon. Perhaps they were looking to put the Butt Bongo band back together. We have Donnie, we have Chrissy. This will be ratings gold. We will be responsible for reuniting America's favorite couple. There was just one small problem here. According to Chris Cuomo, this report from TMZ was false. But even if it were true, Chris Cuomo has no interest in reuniting with his former lover. Listen to what he told Adam Carolla a couple of weeks ago. Then I'm going to explain why Chris Cuomo is still very, very bitter with Don Lemon. Roll the film.
Is NewsNation reaching out to Don Lemon? Not that I know of. Would I know? Yup. Would they talk to Tucker Carlson? Probably. Is that a rejection of what NewsNation is supposed to be about? No, because the point is that NewsNation is going to be a true cross-section of everybody's interests. So, would I let Tucker Carlson have no guardrails? Well, only if you have this is opinion flashing on the screen most of the time when he's talking. Otherwise, you got to have an understanding with the guy about what passes muster in the place. But I'm the boss, and I don't say who's on and who isn't. That's for sure. I'm lucky to be there myself.
First of all, I don't believe that bullshit. NewsNation is a struggling network. After the firing of Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson, every cable news network saw a dramatic spike in ratings. Hell, Newsmax, they saw triple-digit increases in some cases. The one network that did not see a ratings bump? NewsNation. You can't tell me they were not interested in hiring Don Lemon. What we just saw was Chris Cuomo being subtle. He was letting it be known he does not want to get back together with Donnie. Yesterday, this was all but proven in a report from Radar Online. Radar Online spoke to someone in the Cuomo camp, a camp that no normal person wants to be a part of. Me personally, I've never been a big camper, but I damn sure don't want to be camping with someone who salivates over the grilled wiener. According to this source, Chris Cuomo, he is trying to block NewsNation from hiring Don Lemon. They even described him as being very bitter. Why? It's been 2, maybe 3 years since Don and Chris divorced? Enough time has passed for all the bitterness and hard feelings and other hard things to fade away. NewsNation is paying Chrissy $1 million not to draw an audience. Why doesn't he want Donnie to also receive money that he hasn't earned? As it turns out, Chris Cuomo, he has never gotten over the betrayal. His feelings are still hurt. He still feels betrayed by Don Lemon. According to Radar Online, Chris Cuomo has never forgiven Don Lemon for how he acted after CNN fired his ass. Chris and Don, they talked every day for years. Once CNN fired him, he never heard from Don Lemon again. Almost 3 years later, Chris Cuomo is still pissed off about it. Not only that, he's also mad that Don Lemon didn't help him get another job in mainstream media. I thought we were lovers. You showed me your true colors, Donnie. You only care about yourself. I can't believe you won't help the free agent find someone willing to give him money he hasn't earned. Couple of things here. Number one, I can kind of understand why Chris Cuomo would be upset, at least initially. You're fired. You're publicly humiliated. No one in media wants to hire you. During tough times, you look for support from your family and friends. I'm sure Chris Cuomo expected Don Lemon to be there for him. When that didn't happen, he became emotionally triggered. I can somewhat understand that, but as a veteran in the mainstream media, Chris Cuomo should know better. More than likely, CNN forbid employees from contacting Chris Cuomo. I'm sure they were expecting a lawsuit, which is exactly what happened. They didn't want current employees reaching out to Chris Cuomo, giving him anything he could use against the network in a lawsuit. Number two, it's called show business for a reason. It's not show friends. You are only friends with these people when you serve a purpose, especially in the woke media. How many cases have we seen of the woke turning on the woke? There is one thing I will agree with here. Sources close to Chris Cuomo claim he thinks Don Lemon is toxic. I agree 100%. Don Lemon destroys everything he touches. He tanked primetime ratings at CNN. He was demoted to morning television in a move that he claimed was a promotion where he destroyed ratings there. He doesn't play well with others. He can't get along with women, and to the surprise of just about everyone, he can't get along with men either. When it comes to a work environment, Don Lemon is a disease. I don't blame Chris Cuomo for not wanting him at NewsNation. I'm sure his reasons aren't just personal either. I'm sure there's some professional hesitancy here. Right now, Chris Cuomo has no competition at NewsNation. He can draw 120,000 viewers, be the number one show at the network. Even though Donnie Lemon can't draw a mainstream audience, he would only have to draw 121,000 to knock Chrissy off his pedestal. Thing is, I don't think Don Lemon's ego would allow him to join NewsNation. At least not right now, anyway. Maybe this time next year, after he realizes the mainstream media won't touch him, maybe by then he would be willing to stoop this low. But right now, I don't think his ego would allow him to cohabitate with Chris Cuomo in this dump. But give me your thoughts. Chris Cuomo reportedly pushing NewsNation not to pursue Don Lemon. Do you think Don Lemon would boost ratings at NewsNation? I mean, at this point, they can't get any lower. But you let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.